At my dad's birthday party, my name tag said, "The Disappointment." The ballroom buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of a live jazz trio. Golden balloons floated near the high ceilings, and the long banquet tables were adorned with crystal vases and photos from my dad's life, a timeline of his successes. It was his 70th birthday, and from the turnout, you'd think he was royalty. Doctors, CEOs, judges, all clapping him on the back, sharing stories of how he'd inspired them, helped them, or outwitted them in a courtroom. I stood quietly near the entrance, adjusting the stiff collar of my blazer, which still carried the dry-cleaning tag I'd forgotten to remove. My palms were sweating, not because of the people, but because of what I saw on the table where guests picked up their name tags. Mine read, Eli Turner, The Disappointment. At first, I thought it was a mistake, some cruel joke. But the handwriting was unmistakably Dad's. Sharp, precise, and proud. I glanced around. No one else seemed to notice. My siblings, Mark, the heart surgeon, Ava, the tech entrepreneur, and Daniel, the rising star attorney, were busy basking in compliments, their tags proudly listing their titles like badges of honor. I tucked mine into my pocket and forced a smile when people asked who I was. You see, I'm not a doctor, or a CEO, or even someone with a steady career. I'm a freelance art teacher. I work with kids, mostly in shelters, juvenile centers, and community programs. I don't make much, and I don't own a home. I'd stopped trying to impress Dad years ago, but tonight, the label stung like freshly poured salt in an old wound. I stayed because Mom had begged me to come. Just be there, she'd whispered over the phone. He's getting older. He's hard on you, but maybe tonight will be different. It wasn't. After dinner, they played a tribute video. Clips of Dad winning awards, giving lectures, mentoring young lawyers. One by one, my siblings went up to the mic, offering heartfelt speeches about all he'd taught them, leadership, ambition, success. Then Mom nudged me. Go, she whispered. Say something. I shook my head. She placed her hand gently over mine and squeezed. Eli, please. I walked slowly to the microphone, my legs feeling heavier with every step. My mouth was dry. The room quieted. All those eyes. And Dad's, watching me like I was about to spill something on his perfectly arranged life. I cleared my throat. Hi. I'm Eli. The disappointment, apparently. Nervous chuckles echoed. Dad didn't laugh. I wasn't going to speak tonight. Mostly because I didn't think I had anything to say that would matter in a room full of accomplished people. But I want to tell you a story. Last week, I was running a workshop at a youth shelter. The kids were drawing masks, their version of who they thought they had to be, versus who they really were. One boy, Marcus, drew two faces. On one side, a scowling man with fists clenched. On the other, a little boy crying in the dark. He's 10. He's been in and out of foster homes, failed by adults at every turn. But that day, he looked at me and said, when I paint, I don't feel like a mistake. I paused, the lump in my throat threatening to win. I didn't know what to say to him. So I just sat with him. We painted in silence. And for a few moments, he felt seen. Not judged. Not forgotten. Just accepted. I don't drive a fancy car. I rent a tiny apartment. I live paycheck to paycheck. But if being a disappointment means being present for kids like Marcus, then I accept the title. The silence in the room was deafening. I turned to leave, not waiting for applause. But as I stepped down, a woman I didn't know stood and clapped. Then another. And another. Soon, the room was filled with it. I glanced back at Dad. He wasn't clapping. Just sitting, arms folded, eyes unreadable. I left early. Took the side exit. The night air hit my face like a wake-up call, cold and honest. I sat on a bench just outside, trying to collect myself, when I heard footsteps. Eli. It was Ava. She sat beside me, her designer dress brushing against my worn slacks. I didn't know he wrote that on your tag. That's cruel. I shrugged. It's not the worst thing he said. Ava was quiet. Then she said, you know, I donate to 10 charities every year, but I've never actually met the people we help. I don't even remember their names. But you remember every kid. You know their stories. You show up. That matters, Eli. A lot more than what any of us do. I blinked away tears. Ava had always been the golden one, the one I thought was too far removed to even notice me. But she had. Then, from the shadows, came another voice. Gravelly. Hesitant. I owe you an apology. It was Dad. Hands in his pockets, staring at the ground. That name tag was a stupid, angry thing to do. I was embarrassed. Not of you. Of myself. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. When you were young, he continued, I pushed you. Hard. Wanted you to be like me. But you weren't. And I mistook your kindness for weakness. I was wrong. He sat beside me, sighing deeply. I saw your speech. I saw the way people listened. You have something none of us do, the ability to heal without needing credit. The words hung in the air. Fragile. Real. I'm sorry, son. Truly. I looked at him, searching his face for sarcasm or guilt. But there was only sincerity, and regret. I don't need you to be proud of me, Dad, I said, my voice soft. But I'm glad you see me now. He nodded. I do. And for the record, you're not the disappointment. I was. We sat in silence after that. Not the cold kind, but the kind that begins to rebuild something long broken. Later that week, a package arrived at my door. Inside was a new name tag, engraved in metal, the kind lawyers hang on their doors. It read, Eli Turner, the healer. Beneath it was a handwritten note. Thank you for teaching me what success really means. Dad. In the end, success isn't always measured in money, degrees, or applause. Sometimes, it's in the quiet moments, the ones where you show up for others, especially when no one else does. Because being seen, being kind, and being real, that's the legacy that truly lasts.